Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Belle again, and welcome to The Roads with Belle. Today is the 11th of August, 2024, and this is episode 51 of The Roads Not Taken, which is a weekly series where we go over the news that was unreported, underreported, didn't get the coverage we felt that it should, or we just found it interesting. And then we go through some questions from y'all. We're going to start with foreign policy. Maduro of Venezuela has said he will suspend Elon Musk's social media network for 10 days. The Japanese Prime Minister canceled an overseas trip after experts said there was a high probability of a large earthquake occurring off the coast. The U.S. will resume offensive arms sales to Saudi Arabia. This is most likely a chip being slid for the promise of later help with Gaza. In U.S. news, Trump claimed to have almost gone down in a helicopter with a San Francisco mayor. The mayor has said the story isn't true. It might be a case of mistaken identity with a little embellishment. There'll be more on this later, I'm sure. Harris still has momentum building. A number of states that were seen as likely to be Republican are now in play under conventional wisdom. If you're somebody who's skeptical of polling, there are even more in play. The race has fundamentally changed. The judge has permitted the special counsel's request for a 3-week delay in the Trump election subversion case. That's commonly known as a DC case, just in case you're having trouble keeping them all straight. The governor of California reportedly told counties to address the homeless encampments or lose funding. Homeless advocates are understandably upset and are probably trying to get an appointment with Governor Newsom. RFK Jr. is facing ballot challenges. One gaining attention is in Pennsylvania, where the electoral votes are up for grabs, and both parties think they have a chance at getting them. The small percentage siphoned off by RFK might actually alter the outcome of the election. In cultural news, Smokey the Bear turns 80 years old this year, and there's a flood of information and analysis coming out about whether or not the wildfire icon was effective. I know Smokey Bear, and I know that only I can prevent forest fires. I think he was really effective. I'm just saying. In science news, NASA has shut down the Neowise satellite after 15 years in space. The satellite helped identify asteroids and comets that could pose a threat to Earth. The CDC has officially said that COVID is endemic, meaning it's here to stay. It's like the bad house guest that will never go away. In Oddities, the net worth of Tim Walz became a topic of discussion, with many being surprised at the figure between $100,000 and $330,000. Some right-wingers even mocked it. The school teacher in the enlisted National Guard troop isn't rich. I'm surprised. On to the Q&A. Could Ukraine want the nuclear power plant in Russia, and that be why they are doing this? There's a decent number of high-priority targets in the area, and any or all of them could be targets, but at this time, I think they're just trying to push forward and see how far they can take it. Will you explain consumerism and whether it's sustainable? So consumerism is a society centered on obtaining goods you want, not the goods you need. Whether or not it's sustainable would depend on what goods are being prioritized. I don't see how the system is currently that would be sustainable. How do you feel about all the people saying you're Beau and that you transitioned? I notice you haven't commented on them. When people do that, sometimes they're being ironic or mocking somebody who's actually said it as some sort of insult. And the goal is to try to get the target to say it's an insult. To deny it and fight it so that it others trans people. And I don't have time for that. I don't. Will you consider an election night live stream? My first instinct is to say no. I was just off camera for the last one, and that was extremely stressful. So I don't think so. I just don't feel like I'm there yet. It could be possible, but I would have to get a lot more comfortable. So we'll see. Bo once said if he was too sick to post something or something happened that prevented him from recording, there were reserves of general videos that could be posted in his absence. Are there any plans to post these? I haven't even seen those. Those were done in the event of his death. And I hope that none of us will be seeing those anytime soon. You definitely seem to be finding your voice and enjoying, and I enjoyed your Ukraine update, but you seem to be running behind on foreign policy. Is there any reason why? Yeah, there's a big difference in jumping in and just kind of following up on Bo, and then jumping in behind Mr. Bostradamus of foreign policy. Foreign policy analysis is a mainstay for the channel, and I want to stay with it, but I'm a little slower. It's going to come out just a tad slower. I mean, I have the resource, but I want to be accurate too. So will you do a video and introduce us to the horses one day so we can see them? Yes. Like, that's a strong yes. I think I can do that. I can totally do that. All right, so that looks like it's it. There you go. A little more information, a little more context, and having the right information will make all the difference. Y'all have a good night.